ladies and gentlemen, my first message is that France is back. France is back at the core of Europe because we will never have any French success without a European success.
We have to strengthen the Eurozone. We need a capital markets union and a banking union. And we have to cooperate on the foreign policy front. If between our 27 member states we are not able to send a clear and united message to major powers such as China, India and the United States, if foreign policy is made on the national level, then we will fail.
All right, Merkel went on to denounce protectionism in what was seen as a direct attack on Donald Trump's America First agenda. The U.S. Transportation Secretary responded to criticism of the president's role at the Davos Forum.
America First is a continuation of the affirmation of American exceptionalism. I don't think, well, I think this, all these questions are why the president is coming. And again, I think Davos should feel very flattered that he has chosen this as a forum.
I hope.
And so for those that don't want to listen to him, they can leave. Yeah. This is part of what discourse and discussion is all about.
Earlier this week, thousands of people marched through the streets of Zurich to denounce Trump's visit to Switzerland and the entire gathering in Davos in general. Several smaller protests took place elsewhere in the country, including in Geneva. All right, to discuss this further, we can now bring in political commentator Dave Perkins. Dave, thanks for being with us here on RT International, as always. So Davos, it's always an interesting time of the year. Merkel and Macron both called for a stronger Europe and rejected trade protectionism. Is that a direct challenge to Trump's America First agenda?
Yeah, I think it is, but the problem is they're overstating the positions that are taken by the parties coming in. Trump is not in protectionist mode, and he's not in America-only mode. What he's doing is essentially undoing the maneuvers and the agreements and the arrangements made by his predecessor over the last 8 years, which were actually quite punitive to America. In economic terms, America was practically kneeling and handing over its spare cash to people in other countries to do with as they wish. And the American people were deeply upset by that. And Trump has promised the people in the course of his winning this election that that's one of the things he's going to repair, is our needless bowing and scraping to foreign countries, demonstratively showing that we are not better than them by allowing them to rule us in an incautious way. And Trump, I think, is leaning back towards freedom and less regulation rather than toward protectionism and economic, brutality on America's part. I think everyone needs to be talking from the same level, and I think the preparations for Trump's appearance there having been made, they leave little maneuvering room for people like the German Chancellor and President Macron, and it's unfortunate. They should hear him out before they take their positions, I think.
Well, about that hearing him out, it's very obvious that you have a pro-Trump idea, at least when it comes to Davos, but not everybody is really happy that he's going. What kind of a reception do you think that he will get there?
I would not be surprised if some of the elites pulling on the puppet strings behind the Davos curtains either don't turn up or somehow orchestrate standing and turning their backs to him or something. I mean, it's happened before. It's always a behavior driven by emotion. There's this repulsion to Trump on the left that simply makes them incapable of seeing the things that he does objectively. Trump has conducted, I think, an economic revolution here with his policies, with his executive orders, with the tax law that he just got passed a few weeks ago. Things are doing so well here and people are so happy. Unemployment at all-time lows, tax burdens diminishing, people promising new investments, companies bonusing their employees based on a brighter future. And people don't understand that Trump is the guy that's making that happen. If they listen to him at Davos, who knows, he might have some good ideas as an international billionaire businessman to help prosperity in other parts of the world as well.
So going back to the European side of things, inequality among countries comes up in every speech and discussion. Do you think that the business and political elite who attend Davos are serious about tackling this issue, not just in Europe, but around the world as well?
I do not. I am a naturally suspicious person when it comes to people with power gathering together in private, expensive rooms to add to and enhance their power. And that is the way that I see the Davos gathering, is the economic elites gathering to make plans to bring ever more of the world's economic productivity and opportunity under their rule, not necessarily to squelch or diminish it, but their first bit of business is not to enhance the living of people in the rest of the world. It's to enhance themselves and their own power, assuming that this will result in the people of the world doing better and having more prosperity. And I'm not at all convinced of that. I'm very suspicious of smoke-filled rooms, Sean, and this is the biggest one in the world, economically speaking.
That's a great way to put it, smoke-filled rooms. Always interesting to hear your thoughts. Dave Perkins, political commentator, thanks for being with us here on RT International.
Thanks for having me, Sean. Thanks.